Blues parties originated in the warmth of the Caribbean. They were outdoor, money-making events where drinks and marijuana were often illegally sold, while the authorities turned a blind eye. And in someone's back garden, partygoers had the space to let off steam without annoying neighbours. But when the blues tradition was transplanted to the narrow streets and housing estates of Britain, the noise from the large amplifiers became a major source of conflict. Rastafarian Jar Bones, a columnist on the Caribbean Times newspaper, has followed the growth of the blues party in Britain.
They feel, in most cases, and plenty of them, feel unwanted at the clubs and the pubs that are normally run by whites. So they try to have a scene, a cultural scene that is more akin to their tastes and their needs. And Blues Party plays that role.
Getting back to the roots is not the only reason people flock to blues parties. For the unemployed or those with little money, they're a cheap form of entertainment. Just getting into a nightclub can cost £5. Here, £1 can go a long way. What do you like about blues party?
Well, for a start, it's cheaper than going to a club, and lots of people down here, and it's not so crowded,
Does it worry you at all that the neighbours might get a bit annoyed about the noise?
Not really, no.
The carefree attitude of that partygoer is not shared by neighbours who frequently complain about the sheer volume of the music. Here in the London borough of Haringey, the general problem of noisy parties is particularly bad. On an average Saturday night, there are up to 60 complaints. As a result, Haringey has set up a party patrol unit, and these two men are touring the streets to deal with complaints.
I think half the problem is, of course, that these speakers do tend to push out a heavy bass beat, and particularly in blocks of flats, you do get this vibration that's reverberating the structure of the block. Even in houses, you can stand sometimes. We had a case last night. Stand 100 metres away up the street, and you literally feel your feet is bouncing up and down in the road.
Outside London, the problem is equally great, particularly on council estates like this one in Nottingham, where music from one flat can reverberate around the entire block. But Nottingham Council has come up with a novel plan, which they hope will appease both partygoers and complainants. So what do they propose to do?
If it were possible to find some premises away from the flats and the houses where nuisance was being caused, we thought it worth exploring the possibility of seeing whether parties could be held in those premises, and provided there was no question of any unlawful activities taking place, that the parties could be held and could be enjoyed.
But the council's plan to provide an all-night party complex has angered local community workers.
We have been suffering over the years a fair amount of discrimination which has been impeding the progress of our community in all fronts. And to spend such time and money diverting attention from the greater issues, which in the long run are going to be more damaging to the community, then it seems to me a high waste of public money, including my money as a ratepayer and many other people like myself.
And youth workers like Leslie Davis believe that even those blacks who go to blues parties will reject the council's plan.
The youth don't really want the council to be controlling them. What they do in the blues is what they see as their way out of this, the pressure that they're under. And going to a council-regulated blues party, really, they couldn't have the freeness to probably smoke or do what they want to do, you know what I mean? At the times they want to do it, till when they want to do it. Blues is a thing which is free to them, and they do it the way they want to do it, not how the councils want them to do it. What I think is knock down places like this, Dyson Green, build decent houses, decent schools, give the youth some jobs, more resources all around for the youths, and probably they won't have the time and be under so much pressure that they have to keep spending them time in the blues.
There's no easy solution. It's clear that Nottingham Council will have difficulty convincing partygoers that their plan will work. young West Indians will continue to support blues parties, and at the same time, local authorities will always have a legal responsibility to respond to complaints about noise. So perhaps the real answer is simply to turn the music down.